You're always going on YouTube, it has a gold here, my predictions for the Bahrain Grand Prix that's going to happen this weekend. In the background here we've got some gameplay of me racing as Kimi Raikkonen. I'll explain that all later around Bahrain. It's pretty epic race. Apologies to Schumacher at the last corner, just so you know. But anyway, this will be my predictions for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And qualifying, I can still only see a Red Bull on pole. Because Sebastian Vettel has just got the 1 lap pace at the minute. He may not have displayed it in China, but I still think he's got the ultimate pace. He got the pole and won here last year. I think he's very strong at this track. I think he likes it a lot. As do I, in fact, but anyway, that's a different matter. I put Kimi Raikkonen in second place for this Grand Prix as he ran really well last year. He just hasn't had the qualifying performance, but I think he's finally got that back now, qualifying second in China. I think he's going to maintain that going into Bahrain. I think he'll have a really good Grand Prix from second place and a really good qualifying. I think he'll be able to hook up a lap. It'll be really good. Third, I put Massa. I think he's hyped up for this Grand Prix after finishing quite a long way off his teammate. I mean, he was about 30 seconds off, which is quite a long way to think about considering he was fighting with him at the start. It was quite a long way off, and I think he was going to give it his absolute best out qualifying again to make him out qualify Alonso 4 out of 5 Grand Prix, which would be really good for him. And plus, I prefer Massa to Alonso. That's just my opinion, though. Next, I have put Alonso because the Ferraris are very close this year, but I think Alonso, he hasn't got the edge in qualifying, but he's certainly got the edge in the race apparently. So I put behind Massa, and also Ferrari is very quick and very strong. Next, I have put Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. This is because I think he had a pretty good Grand Prix last year. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he'll have a really good qualifying, like he did in China where he got the pole obviously. And I think he'll just, Mercedes, they're not good around this track, but I think Hamilton's got the ultimate pace to bring the car back round. After Hamilton, I put Button in 6th place. This is because McLaren, I think they're still there or thereabouts, but they're not up with the top runners. They're nowhere near their pace. I think they'll be about half a second off in qualifying, which is quite a big distance. But they'll be in the top 10 definitely, out qualifying the Force Indias, who they're tied with on points at the minute. After Button in 6th, I have put Hülkenberg in 7th. This is because he's had a pretty good qualifying, a pretty good race so far, I think. I mean, in Malaysia he scored points, in China he scored points. I don't think he's had a qualifying performance to actually get him right up there, like with a good chance of winning the race like he did in Brazil. But I think he actually will have a decent qualifying here, qualifying 7th of course. And I think he'll just be there. Like, he'll be there or thereabouts, but I wouldn't expect him to win the Grand Prix. I wouldn't expect him anywhere near the Grand Prix win actually. But I think I have a decent qualifying. Next, I have put Grosjean in 9th place. This is because, as I said, the Lotus is ultimately pretty fast around here, but I don't think Grosjean's got the pace this year. I could see him being out of Formula 1 by the end of the season. He's not really performing up to his potential like he did in the controversial 2012 year where he got put out at the first corner quite a few times by himself, it must be said. And then after 9th place in Grosjean, I have put Perez in 10th place because I think McLaren are there, but Perez, he's underperformed quite badly. So that's why I put him there. I can't see him doing very well this weekend. I don't think he did very well last year either actually. So unfortunately for Perez, I could see him being out of McLaren as well, unless he signed a 2-year contract, I'm not sure. But I could definitely see him being out of McLaren. But fingers crossed he'll have a good weekend, qualifying 10th. Then in the race, I put Raikkonen to win, Alonso 2nd and Massa 3rd. That's because Raikkonen, I think, he's got the pace of all the teams at the minute, well in race pace anyway. I mean, he came 2nd with a broken car in China, it must be said, so that's pretty good going for him. I think he's going to win the Grand Prix. He would have won last year if it wasn't for Grosjean holding him up a little bit. I don't think he'll have this problem this time by. I think he'll do really well. I hope he does well, because everyone loves Kimi. And then after, I put Alonso 2nd because I think he's got ultimate race pace to Massa, and I think Ferrari's the 2nd best team going into this Grand Prix. 3rd, I put Massa because Ferrari is the 2nd best team going into this Grand Prix. And after Massa, I have put Button because I think McLaren are there, but they're just not quite there at the minute. So basically Button is in 4th place because he's got the pace but the car hasn't, so unfortunately for him he's just not quite there at the minute. Vettel I have put in 5th place because he's the Red Bull they just eat their tyres too much, I'm afraid, so unfortunately for them I don't think they're going to be there. So I think Vettel is sort of Vettel, he's got the pace and he proved it in China, but the car doesn't have the pace, unfortunately. So it just chews his tyres a bit too much. So I can't see him. I can see him doing one qualifying on 1 lap because the tyres will last 1 lap, but I can't see him doing one in the race because he eats his tyres a bit too much, I'm afraid. Then after that I put Hamilton 6th and I put Rosberg 7th. Because the Mercedes, they'll be close, and I think Hamilton's got the edge a bit in pace at the minute, but I think they're just not there. They're they'll be in the points definitely, but I don't think they'll be there for the win. I think 6th and 7th is a good result for them at the minute at this current time. 8th I put Perez, 9th I put Webber, and 10th I put Daniel Ricciardo. I put Perez 8th because he's got decent race pace, but I don't think he's got enough race pace to be anywhere higher than 8th. 8th is a good result for Perez at his current moment, so I just basically think he's going to do well like that. Like that, just casually. 8th would be a good result for Perez, as he has not got the pace and neither has the car, but they're better than some teams. But Webber 9th, as I've never seen him run strong here in Bahrain. I can't remember the last time Webber had a strong race actually. Apart from maybe Malaysia, but he obviously had that win taken away from him. But I can't remember him having a really strong race recently. I mean, he retired in China, so he's a bit down at the minute. He might try and put things right, but I don't think he'll make it right, unfortunately. I think Ricciardo will be 10th after his highest ever finish in Formula 1 in 7th place in China, of course. I think he'll be doing really well to be there. I think he'll still be the highest confidence midfield running team. Or maybe not midfield running team, but I think he'll be there in the points. He's probably got better race pace than Perez if he was put in the McLaren. In my opinion, I think he should take Mark Webber's place next year though. So I think Daniel Ricciardo get 10th because he's upbeat at the minute, he's very happy with the car, it looks easy to drive, and Torres will put some pace in the car for a change. But I don't think Bahrain's their strongest track though. Because Ricciardo of course started 6th here last year and went down to 15th within the first lap. So, but anyway, this has been my predictions of what's going to happen to the Bahrain Grand Prix 2013. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, let me know what you think is what's going to happen in the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's been a controversial Grand Prix throughout the years, but one of my favourite tracks for sure. But let me know what you think. It's been How's It Gold, and I'm out here.